Under what conditions is killing non-combatants in war moral?
Dum dum, diddle dum dum, diddle dum dum, diddle dum dum. There was a turtle by the name of Bert, and the turtle was very alert. When danger threatened him, he never got hurt. He knew just what to do. He ducked and covered, ducked and covered.
Is it right to bomb babies? Or in times of war, should we draw the line just past their mothers who provide succor to their militant husbands?
The ruins revealed beyond doubt the existence of the shadow factories the Japanese had set up in the nearby residential areas of the industrial valley.
Tough questions. Fortunately, answers are found in Genesis, an important holy book for conservative Jewish leaders. According to former Chief Rabbi Mordecai Eliyahu, the answers to this tough moral dilemma are very clear. Just read Scripture. If our morality does indeed come from the Bible, we should gain something from this reading. So here it goes. This is one of two passages that the rabbi advocates that Israel use or can use to justify their attacks. Genesis 34. One day Dinah, the daughter Leah had given Jacob, went to visit some of the women in that country. Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, who was chieftain there, saw her and raped her. Then he felt a strong attraction to Dinah, Jacob's daughter, fell in love with her, and wooed her. Shechem went to his father Hamor, "Get me this girl for my wife."
Life is not quite that simple. When one breaks the rules, we pay for it.
Jacob heard that Shechem had raped his daughter Dinah, but his sons were out in the field with the livestock, so he didn't say anything until they got home. Hamor, Shechem's father, went to Jacob to work out marriage arrangements. Meanwhile, Jacob's sons, on their way back from the fields, heard what had happened. They were outraged, explosive with anger. Shechem's rape of Jacob's daughter was intolerable in Israel, and not to be put up with. Hamor spoke with Jacob and his sons. "My son Shechem is head over heels in love with your daughter. Give her to him as his wife. Intermarry with us. Give your daughters to us, and we'll give our daughters to you."
I suppose just about here the horse laughs are starting in the audience. All right, go ahead and laugh. Of course, Ethel isn't laughing.
"Live together with us as one family. Settle down among us, and make yourselves at home. Prosper among us." Shechem then spoke for himself, addressing Dinah's father and brothers. "Please say yes. I'll pay anything. Set the bridal price as high as you will. The sky's the limit. Only give me this girl for my wife." Jacob's sons answered Shechem and his father with cunning. Their sister, after all, had been raped. They said, "This is impossible. We could never give our sister to a man who was uncircumcised. Why, we'd be disgraced. The only condition on which we can talk business is if all your men become circumcised like us."
Before logging operations start in an area, a forester or his assistants go over it carefully, selecting and marking those trees which are to be felled. And later, when logging starts, a forester watches to see that no unnecessary damage is done.
Then we will freely exchange daughters in marriage and make ourselves at home among you and become one big happy family. But if this is not an acceptable condition, we will take our sister and leave. That seemed fair enough to Hamor and his son Shechem. The young man was so smitten with Jacob's daughter that he proceeded to do what had been asked. He was also the most admired son in his father's family. So Hamor and his son Shechem went to the public square and spoke to the town council. "These men like us, they are our friends. Let them settle down here and make themselves at home. There's plenty of room in the country for them. Just think, we can even exchange our daughters in marriage. But these men will only accept our invitation to live with us and become one big happy family, on one condition, that all our males become circumcised, just as they themselves are."
These men were not paid very well.
This is a very good deal for us. These people are very wealthy with great herds of livestock, and we're going to get our hands on it.
Permits are issued allowing only a certain number of sheep or cattle into the area.
So, let's do what they ask and have them settle down with us. Everyone who was anyone in the city agreed with Hamor and his son, Sechem. Every male was circumcised. 3 days after the circumcision, while all the men were still very sore, 2 of Jacob's sons, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brothers, each with his sword in hand, walked into the city as if they owned the place, and murdered every man there.
If you are at home when a surprise attack occurs, crawl beneath a table if it is very near, or drop to the floor with your back to the window.
They also killed Hamor and his son Sechem, rescued Dinah from Sechem's house, and left. When the rest of Jacob's sons came on the scene of slaughter, they looted the entire city in retaliation for Dinah's rape. Flocks, herds, donkeys, belongings, everything.
Sometimes the victims are lucky. They lose only money or their jewelry, but not this time.
And they took all the wives and children captive and ransacked their homes.
These 2 were fortunate to get out with their lives, and that's an experience they'll never forget.
Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, "You've made my name stink to high heaven among the people here, these Canaanites and Perizzites. If they decided to gang up on us and attack, as few as we are, we wouldn't stand a chance. They'd wipe me and my people right off the map." They said, "Nobody's going to treat our sister like a whore and get away with it."
And I can tell you about hundreds of cases. I hope you're beginning to get the idea.
I encourage everyone who thinks that the Bible provides moral wisdom to simply read the Bible, explore your scripture with a critical eye. And when you come to stories like this, which politicians today seem to think have some merit in the 21st century, think again. Where does our morality come from? I would argue it most decidedly does not come from Genesis chapter 34.